2, 1.
Are these mics on?
Good morning. Our service is now starting. For our prelude today, let's join the choir in singing Holy Ground. The words are in your service folder. Holy Ground. The lyrics are by Woody Guthrie. Go ahead. Shoes.
This place you're standing is holy ground. Take off your shoes. The spot you're standing, it's holy ground. These words I heard in my burning bush. This place you're standing is holy ground. I heard my fiery voice speak to me. This spot you're standing is holy ground. That spot is holy, holy ground. That place you stand is holy ground. This place you tread is holy ground. I'll make this place serve holy ground. Take off your shoes and pray. The ground you walk is holy ground. Take off your shoes and pray. The ground you walk is holy ground. Every spot on earth I trace around. Every spot I walk is holy ground. Every spot on earth I trace around. Every spot I walk is holy ground. Every spot is holy ground. Every little inch is holy ground. Every grain of dirt is holy ground. Every spot I walk is holy ground. Every spot I walk is holy ground.
Welcome, everyone, to the Berkeley Fellowship of Unitarian Universalists, and a special welcome to our folks on Zoom. The camera's over there if you want to wave to them. My name is Tom Luce, and we are very happy that you joined us today. We are part of a free religious tradition that honors the loving heart, the open mind, and growing together within the beloved community. If you have a cell phone, please shut it off, mute it, or if you have any announcements, please write them down and give them to Jeff, who's back there, and someone will read them. Our fellowship stands on land that is today called Berkeley, California. I got two. Thank you. And we're located in the unceded territory of the Ohlone people. We honor them today and always for their wisdom and resilience. One quick note, please do not record any part of this service. BFUU records it and sermons are posted on our website, which has been renewed and it's rather complicated. But you can find all of this stuff. Okay, opening words, Sharon Knight.
Good morning, lovely humans. It's nice to see you all. And I would like to take a moment to call us all to presence. So let's listen to this tone. And breathe this tone in. And as you exhale, relax deeply into the present moment. Surrendering all the little distractions that gobble up our minds and our attention. Let's just let those go. Breathing in the tone. And exhaling out all of our distractions. Breathing in this nice calming tone. Calling our attention back from the various places that it gets coiled up. Call it home. And exhale one more time, grounding into the earth. And bringing yourselves right here to this moment, this day of renewal. Be welcome.
And now for our chalice lighting. And please light your own chalice or candles at home now while we light this communal chalice for all of us, a symbol of our tradition and the spirit that lives within every one of us. Please read with me our unison chalice lighting, which can be found in your order of service. Let love be the spirit of this congregation and service its goal. This is our living covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truths in life, and to help one another. We light our red candle to mourn Black lives taken by police violence, to proclaim that Black lives matter, and to express our commitment to Black liberation, reparations, and the end of slave capitalism. And now you see Tom Rutterow getting up here, singing one of his originals, Wo Ha Hey Hey. The words are in the order of service.
That is the words. I received that as I was riding my bike along the road one day, and I heard hoo-ha, hey, hey, hey in my head, and it sort of became this song. And here comes Lois. Thank you, sir. Yeah, so I got this thing and I came home and it became this song about environmental issues. And so please sing along with me in the choir on when the words are just hoo-ah, hey, hey, hey. And I like to think of as my soul expressing the feelings that my words can't about how I feel about the environment. Join us. Sorry about that. The sky belongs to no one. It's just there for you and me. For birds to wing and bring a song, clouds floating through for all to see. But we think borders reach on up to keep all others out, while we turn blue to gray to acid rain with the pollution that we spout. Ooh-ah, hey, 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 ooh-ah. The majestic seas are home for whales roaming free for countless years, singing tales of all they've seen. But now these tales have far more tears as we drag the life from ocean floors with indiscriminate regard and dump our garbage miles from the shore. What we'll soon find is our backyard. Ooh-ah, hey, 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 ooh-ah. The earth we all come out of to dance together on the land. Our mother Gaia gives us all we need with outstretched hands. Instead of sharing the bounty of our fruits side by side in healthy toil, hand in hand we fight against our roots and spill our blood into the soil. Ooh-ah, hey, 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 ooh-ah. Come on, Brett, play. Why can't we see? Why won't we see? When will we see, my friend, that if we don't see our insanity will soon bring about our end? The earth, the sea, the sky are trying to tell us today just what native people as they died tried to tell us yesterday. The Wasichu, the taker of the fat, you have become so scared to share with others, afraid you may not have some, all the truth you hide, dissatisfied with all that you achieve. But joy comes only from inside, and love from oneness we believe. Ooh-ah, hey, hey.
Yes, Tom, wonderful. We got to get all the real words, though. Testing. Hello. Okay. Hello, microphone folks. Oh, ooh, there we go. Wonderful. We're now going to have another little presentation from Sharon. In your program. Yeah, responsive reading. Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, I don't have a responsive reading for you. So why don't we just contemplate the world for a moment? Why don't we just, we'll get the icky part out of the way first. Why don't we just contemplate something that we really wish was different right now? I bet you can come up with a thing or two. And allow that to come to our consciousness. And allow whatever feelings we have to arise for a moment and to acknowledge them and to say to them, I gift you my heart, may you know love and peace. So since this is responsive, why don't you say it with me? I gift you my heart that you may know love and peace. I gift you my heart that you may know love and peace. And now let's conjure something that is making us feel hopeful. Perhaps it still needs work, but it's growing in the right direction, and we want to encourage that thing. So let's take that into our hearts for a moment. And breathe into it and really allow that to come to the foreground of our consciousness and to realize that, yes, this is a plant that is blooming. I see the blossoms beginning to sprout on this thing that has struggled for a while. And let's give that our love. I give you my love that you may know healing and love. Actually, it's I give you my heart. I give you my heart that you may know healing and love. One more time. I give you my heart that you may know healing and love. And then lastly, let's conjure up something that we absolutely cherish and adore, that is just right, something that we're so thankful for that exists in the world right now. And let's give that our hearts. Allow that to conjure to your full consciousness, this feeling, this image of gratitude. I give you my heart that you may know love and peace. 2 more times. I give you my heart that you may know love and peace. I give you my heart that you may know love and peace.
And now for a little more meditation. In a moment, I'll sound a chime to lead us into our time of silent meditation. Again, please get comfortable and follow our time of silent meditation. Breathe your inner stillness. I'll ring the chime a second time at the end of 2 minutes. Good meditation time now with Sharon's beginning. Okay. Now we're in the section of our rituals and joys and sorrows. A time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and ask for community prayers and support. Each week we lay out a book over on the table on your left, that you're welcome to write in about your joys and sorrows. I'll read now from what that book has here, although I'm having a little problem. And if the person that wrote this wants to say it, that'll be fine. But here we have the first one. Happy Earth Day. Margaret. Celebrate all creatures who are helping develop the world and turn out new ideas to help save our planet. And lastly, my new wonderful girlfriend went back to Munich, where she lives. I am quite sad and pretending I am not. And now you can pronounce any names or that you want to have noticed today.
People locked up in New Orleans. Palestinian children. All
And now we move on to another silent part of a morning ritual. It's the healing ritual with water and stones. For anything that is in our hearts that we wish to bring into community, but is perhaps too sensitive to speak aloud, we have a symbolic action that you can take. You can walk down the center aisle, choose a stone or stones, and immerse it or them in the water, which represents us, the community. For all that we have shared and for all that we will share in our ongoing lives together, may we be grateful. And now for the meditation. If somebody will give me a key, otherwise I'll sing it on my own key. May I be safe, may I be well, may I know joy, may I be free, may you be safe, may you be well, may you know joy, may you be free, may they be safe, may they be well, may they know joy, may they be free, may all be safe, may all be well, may all know joy, may all be free. I have the name of the people on Zoom. If you want to wave to them, the camera's up there. Ben Birch, Jinky and Mike Gardner, Marge Tungren, and Virginia. And I want to mention the name of Gene Herman, who is in a Zoom room, I'm sure, where he can see everything. And we love him as we always do. And now please join Sharon Knight in singing an original of hers, Force of Nature. The words are in the order of service.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I would love for you to sing along. As you probably know, I am the event space coordinator here, and it's a delight to sing a song for you and share some thoughts that I find inspiring, and hopefully you will too. So let's start with Greeting the Natural World. We will sing it one time through just to get the hang of it, and then we'll do it 3 times through, officially, and that'll be that. So how it goes is, hail to the summer sky, blazing fierce immortal light. Hail to the fire, burning in the earth. Hail to the winds that blow, alive beneath the wings of crows. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. Hail to the waterfall, feeds the spring that keeps us all. Hail to the standing stones that fill our hearts with awe. Hail to the stars above, hail to the strength of love. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. Feel like you got it? All right, let's do it. We'll do it 3 times through, and then I'll sing a completing line, and we'll all live happily ever after. Here we go, for real this time. I'll do 2 patterns of drums, and 2. Hail to the summer sky, blazing fierce immortal light. Hail to the fire, burning in the earth. Hail to the wind that blows, alive beneath the wings of crows. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. Hail to the waterfall, feeds the spring that keeps us all. Hail to the standing stones that fill our hearts with awe. Hail to the stars above, hail Hail to the strength of love. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. Hail to the summer sky, blazing fierce immortal light. Hail to the fire, burning in the earth. Hail to the wind that blows, alive beneath the wings of crows. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. Hail to the waterfall, feeds the spring that keeps us all. Hail to the standing stones that fill our hearts with awe. Hail to the stars above. Hail to the strength of love. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. And one more time. Hail to the summer sky, blazing fierce immortal light. Hail to the fire, burning in the earth. Hail to the wind that blows, alive beneath the wings of crows. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. Hail to the waterfall, feeds the spring that keeps us all. Hail to the standing stones that fill our hearts with awe. Hail to the stars above. Hail to the strength of love. Blessed be the mighty force of nature. I lift my glass to you, mighty force of nature.
Thank you, Sharon. That was beautiful. And now we're really using Sharon Knight. We're honored to have her do the readings, sometimes a wild god.
This is one of my favorite poems about the living natural world. It's called Sometimes a Wild God, and it's written by Tom Hirons. Sometimes a wild god comes to the table. He is awkward and does not know the ways of porcelain, of fork and mustard and silver. His voice makes vinegar from wine. When the wild god arrives at the door, you will probably fear him. He reminds you of something dark that you might have dreamt, or the secret you do not wish to be shared. He will not ring the doorbell. Instead, he scrapes with his fingers, leaving blood on the paintwork, though primroses grow in circles around his feet. You do not want to let him in. You are very busy. It is late or early, and besides, you cannot look at him straight in the eye because he makes you want to cry. Your dog barks. The wild god smiles. He holds out his hand and the dog licks his wounds, then leads him inside. The wild god stands in your kitchen. Ivy is taking over your sideboard. Mistletoe has moved into the lampshades, and wrens have begun to sing an old song in the mouth of your kettle. I haven't much, you say, and give him the worst of your food. He sits at the table bleeding. He coughs up foxes. There are otters in his eyes. When your wife calls down, you close the door and tell her it's fine. You will not let her see the strange guest at your table. The wild god asks for whiskey, and you pour a glass for him, then a glass for yourself. 3 snakes are beginning to nest in your voice box. You cough. Oh, limitless space. Oh, eternal mystery. Oh, endless cycles of death and birth. Oh, miracle of life, the wondrous dance of it all. You cough again. Expectorate the snakes and water down the whiskey, wondering how you got so old and where your passion went. The wild god reaches into a bag made of moles and nightingale skin. He pulls out a two-reeded pipe, raises an eyebrow, and all the birds begin to sing. The fox leaps into your eyes. Otters rush from the darkness. The snakes pour through your body. Your dog howls, and upstairs your wife both exults and weeps at once. The wild god dances with your dog. You dance with the sparrows. A white stag pulls up a stool and bellows hymns to enchantments. A pelican leaps from chair to chair. In the distance, warriors pour from their tombs. Ancient gold grows like grass in the fields. Everyone dreams the words to long-forgotten songs. The hills echo and the gray stones ring with laughter and madness and pain. In the middle of the dance, the house takes off from the ground. Clouds climb through the windows and lightning pounds its fists on the table. The moon leans in. The wild god points to your side. You are bleeding heavily. You have been bleeding for a long time, possibly since you were born. There's a bear in the wound. Why did you leave me to die? Asks the wild god. And you say, I was busy surviving. The shops were all closed. I didn't know how. I'm sorry. Listen to them. The fox in your neck, and the snakes in your arms, and the wren and the sparrow and the deer, the great unnameable beasts in your liver and your kidneys and your heart. There is a symphony of howling, a cacophony of dissent. The wild god nods his head, and you wake on the floor holding a knife, a bottle, and a handful of black fur. Your dog is asleep on the table. Your wife is stirring far above. Your cheeks are wet with tears. Your mouth aches from laughter or shouting. A black bear is sitting by the fire. Sometimes a wild god comes to the table. He is awkward and does not know the ways of porcelain, of fork and mustard and silver. His voice makes vinegar from wine and brings the dead to life. On that note, I'm delighted and honored to have been asked to share some of what's closest to my heart, my own spirituality, if we can call it that. And in a nutshell, I believe that you deserve enchantment. I believe that each and every one of us deserves to live in an enchanted world filled with wonder and delight. And in fact, I believe that we all already live in this world. However, it's possible that we may have forgotten, because we are not trained to see an enchanted world. In fact, if anything, that is trained out of us early on so that we can fit in and be responsible adults and be serious and carry on our business and do the things that are expected of us. We can't be believing in nonsense. After all, we have science, and that's all we need. And don't get me wrong, I love science. I will never deny science. But what I think is possible is that it may not be the only worldview. It may not be the only lens worth looking through. We are taught, and we have our friend René Descartes to thank for this, we are taught that only humans have mind with a capital M, for it is humans that are capable of rational thought. And since no other beings are capable of rational thought that we know of, at least that we can tell, Mr. Descartes has decided for us all that the rest of the world is mechanistic, a mere automaton, whereas we humans are the only beings with consciousness. And we took that on. After all, it was the beginning of the scientific revolution, and we were all very excited. And we adopted this worldview. This is the new way of thinking. Surely this is what an enlightened human believes now. And we went with that. And as a result, we have come into a relationship with the world that feels like we're plopped on top of it. We don't have that sense of emerging that perhaps we once had, or certainly that we can grow into, where we are part of, where there's a togetherness. There's an us and everything else. And this leaves us feeling very lonely at times. Probably many of you in this room are familiar with the famous quote from the Catholic priest Thomas Berry. He says, "The world is a communion of subjects, not a collection of objects." So let's be with that for a minute. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to live amidst a collection of objects? You're you, and sure, your friends and your family, other humans, you know, they're like you, but everything else is just inert. It's a thing. What does that feel like? Everything around us is a collection of things, and that's how we live our lives. That's how our culture teaches us to live our lives. We alone are the most important, the only important. And then let's take a moment to consider then what it might feel like if we lived within a communion of subjects. A subject is able to have a subjective experience. So there must be a beingness to a subject. And then in the word communion, right out of the gate, we are invited into relationship with. So we all are most likely familiar with that quote from Thomas Berry, but what we may not know is the entire paragraph that it comes from. He says, "The world is a communion of subjects, not a collection of objects. The devastation of the planet can be seen as a direct consequence of the loss of this capacity for human presence to and reciprocity with the non-human world. This reached its most decisive moment in the 17th century proposal of René Descartes that the universe is composed simply of mind and mechanism. In this single stroke, he devitalized the planet and all its living creatures with the exception of the human." Descartes, Thomas says, desouled the earth with his division of reality between mind and extension. So when I think about this, I think, what a disservice we have done to the animal community. Just for starters, we have trained ourselves to see our animal friends as automata. You know, they're just machines. They can't feel pain is even part of this teaching. So a lot of horror has been committed upon our animal friends in the name of they can't feel pain. They're not beings. Well, anyone who's ever shared any of their life with a pet knows instantly that this isn't the case. You know, I think of my cats, as I do all the time. You knew I was going to work my cats into this, didn't you? One of our cats makes up games and teaches them to us so that we will play them with her. And when we don't play with her, like when we're trying to go to sleep, for example, she will make up her own games. She has a crinkle ball, and it makes sense for a cat to play with a crinkle ball. You know, that's what they do, but she talks to this crinkle ball incessantly. So she's got some kind of inner dialogue going on with this crinkle ball, And there is no way anyone will ever be able to convince me that these cats don't have imagination. If imagination isn't evidence of mind with a capital M, I don't know what is. So I take comfort in knowing that we are actually a very young species on the planet. In the scope of things, we're really still learning. So we can get better at this. This gives me hope. But when we start to realize, our pets aren't accessories, something that looks nice with our outfit or something that exists to give us comfort. They're beings. And we are in relationship with these beings. And when you start to look at animals as beings and not just things, you realize how deep the capacity for relationship animals have. And when you see them, they're so grateful. They know that you're really seeing them. And they give love and gratitude back to us. And I've had pets my whole life, and I am continually amazed at their capacity for love and connection. So if that be true for the animal kingdom, then what about the plant kingdom? Can we be so sure that just because consciousness doesn't look like human consciousness, that other types of life don't possess consciousness? I personally think not. I think you hang out with a tree for a few minutes and you realize if you're silent enough and you get all of the supposed tos out of your head from society tells us this is how we're supposed to be, and by golly, I want to fit in, I want to belong. If we can just calm that down for a few minutes and behold a tree or a bird or a blade of grass or a flower that's blooming, we realize that yes, they have their own form of consciousness. They have evolved their own way of being alive in the world. And even when we look at these things scientifically, I can't help but to see that as further evidence of the plant's consciousness, is that they pulled something, coalesced to be this tree. Some animating principle that, when we're in a church context, we might call that God, we might call it universal energy, we might call it vitality or life force or animism or consciousness. So then we start being with the trees. And I want to ask you, when I suggest that we contemplate the trees, when you think about a tree, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Okay, well, you guys are a cut above for sure. I somewhat chagrinedly must admit that when I first tried this exercise, the first thing that popped into my head was lumber. What can the trees do for us? Because and shade that did, what can it do for me? Yep. And we forget, that's how we're conditioned. So it's not anybody's fault. We've been, for at least 200 years now, we are taught to believe that we alone are the important ones and everything else God created to serve us. So we relate to our world as a collection of objects, of things. Everything around us is a thing. It's a resource for us to use, because if it's just a thing, what else could it be? So if we open to our hearts to that tree then, and we consider it as a being for a moment instead of an inert thing, a resource that we can use to stand under when we're hot or to build our houses out of or to give us oxygen, we can be in communion with the tree for a few moments. We can breathe with the tree. And as it turns out, when we breathe with the tree, I only learned this a couple of years ago, not only do the trees give us oxygen, but they benefit from the expelled oxygen, the carbon dioxide that is our waste. So we are in this symbiotic relationship with the trees already. We are in relationship with the natural world. It is not a resource, it is a relationship. I personally consider this a much healthier worldview. And it looks like I only have a few minutes left, so if you need to sheep crook, you keep going. Okay, I'm pretty close to being done. This is the first time I've ever done one of these, so I wasn't exactly sure how many words do I need. So Indigenous people have never forgotten this, by the way, so we would do well to listen to them. An outstanding Indigenous person to listen to is Robin Wall Kimmerer, who you've probably heard of from the book Braiding Sweetgrass. She is both a Western botanist and a preserver of traditional ecological knowledge from her Potawatomi citizenship. And she teaches that science asks how something works, but traditional ecological knowledge asks who somebody is. And these views are both incredibly valuable, and they work brilliantly together. They're like you look in from different angles, look in from different windows onto our world, and truth is to be found through looking in through a variety of different lenses, because when we just look through one, we get very myopic in our vision, and as we have seen, we cause harm. So we are more than, our beating hearts are more than just a machine. Love is more than just our beating hearts. All right, so I think I can wrap this up pretty quick here. I feel like you're all getting the point. And I feel like you're right there with it. We now know that trees, they certainly, scientifically speaking, the trees now appear to be helping each other. They seem to communicate and to give each other nutrients through mycorrhizal networks below the ground. They can tell each other, I'm sick, stay away. They can give nutrients to a sick tree. They can help younger trees with additional nutrients. This is the world that I would love to see develop more fully. This is the enchanted world here, is when we start to realize that everything is alive. Our world is so much more alive than we had been thinking that it is, and that life is everywhere, exulting and celebrating and being thankful for the sunlight and doing miraculous biochemical processes so that it can experience life just like we are. And so, my soapbox, my personal soapbox is, how can we lean in 110% to that way of viewing the world and relating to the world? And I think where we can start is by acknowledging the natural world, the bay. Robin Wall Kimmerer has a section in Braiding Sweetgrass where she talks about trying to learn the Potawatomi language, and that it made no sense to her at first because there were words for being a bay, and she thought, how can you just be a bay? And she calls this whole chapter the grammar of animacy. And I'd love for us to develop our own grammar of animacy. Like, why can't we go talk to the bay? Why can't we talk to the trees on Bonita and Cedar, or the tree in our backyard, or the little bird's nest? What do the birds need? What do bird thoughts consist of? It might be more than we have thought. So we want to, by doing this, we re-enchant the world, which is a little bit of a misnomer, because really we're re-enchanting our own perspective of the world. The world has been enchanted this whole time, and it always is. And may these conversations be the beginning of both personal practice with communing with the natural world, singing to the natural world, because we're breathing, we're giving not just song and resonance and melody, but we're giving actual carbon dioxide to the trees as we sing to them, and we breathe in their oxygen. Singing to the trees is a wonderful communion, and on a larger scale, I would love to see us move toward regenerating everything. We must move from an extractive economy to a regenerative economy, and the way we could start doing that is to simply support every way we possibly can anyone engaged in regenerative practices. And I think I will leave it there. I just would love to leave you with a spark that we're on a mission to re-enchant the world by re-enchanting our perspective so that we see this enchanted living world all around us and fall in love with it. Wait, which ones? I think these ones are all mine. Are these yours? I think these are yours. Oh, wait, is that not true? Okay, hang on. Oh, these ones have numbers on them. But these are the ones you already did, right? Okay. Don't mind us while we get quickly organized. Oh, there's some. There they are.
At this point, I'm supposed to thank everybody who contributed to this service, including Sharon and everybody else who do paper things. And so I'll do that. Yes, please.
Don't you hate it when you're given a speech? I've done this before. I have my speech not numbered, your papers slip, and then all of a sudden, where are you? Anyway, in this case, the thing is numbered. But while we're waiting for Tom to figure that out, let's see. I wanted to say, is there anybody here that's new for the first time and would like to introduce themselves? It's totally optional. You don't have to do it if you don't like to, but if you are new for the first time and you'd like to say your name and maybe where you're from, I want to give you that chance. Yes, we're going to bring a mic to you so people can, sure.
So I have been in this building, in this room, off and on for the last 45 years, but this is the first time I have ever been sitting in the audience for a service. I have performed in a service, but I have never sat in the audience for a service. My name's Vicki Solomon. I have come here for folk music concerts. The Fellowship of the Spiral Path is my home religious organization, and we meet the last Sunday of every month in this room. What else to know about me? I don't know. I came because Sharon Knight just happened to mention that she was giving the sermon, and I've been a fan of her music for, I don't know how long, a long time. Yes.
Great. Thank you, Vicki. Very great to have you today. Anybody else? Oh, yes. We'll bring the mic over to you. Thank you.
I'm Ingrid Stephan. I'm originally from Nuremberg, Bavaria, but I live in the East Bay since 2000. And I was here before sometimes with my friend Ingrid Kepler-May. And I was hoping to maybe see her today or something. But I'm in between everything today because I went to the sunrise ceremony at Epworth Methodist Church in Cesar Chavez Park because I'm usually attending a Quaker meeting, and the Quakers are terrible with celebrating holidays. We even have a couple of Quakers coming to the sunrise ceremony with me. And I was actually on the way to the Quaker meeting, but then I thought, oh, they have Earth Day today here. So let's check it out, and maybe Ingrid is here or something like that. I'm also a caregiver for a woman in a wheelchair, or she's in bed right now. I have to go back pretty quickly now in order to get her out to her wheelchair. And I was walking a dog, and I had an altercation with her. So I was pretty upset and so on and so forth. And that was part of it coming in here. And then I saw this gentleman sort of peeking out there a little bit. Thought he might be interested in coming in. Do you want to say anything about you? Yourself? No, it's okay. Good. Thank you. I'll be back. I have a friend, I live in Atchison Village in Richmond, and I have a friend who was raised with the Unitarians, but the ones in Kensington. And she's a singer, and next week is an interesting thing about singing, so I think we will be back.
And is there anyone else? Thank you very much. Now is the time when we share our responsibility for the home which we are creating together. Our shared plate today, this month, is Earth Justice. I think there's a statement in the program, but I'll read this one. Earth Justice is the premier nonprofit public interest environmental law organization. We wield the power of law and the strength of partnership to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, to advance clean energy, and to combat climate change. We are here because the earth needs a good lawyer. And now let us dedicate our offerings. The statement is in the program. Offering dedication to the work of this fellowship, which is creating beloved community within and beyond these walls. We dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. And now we're going to do our final hymn. Please join the choir in singing, "The Tide is Rising."
The lyric,
Sing test.
I don't think it is, yes.
The words are supposed to be in the
Hello?
order of service.
Yeah, the words are in the order of service, and it'd be great if you all could sing along with us with this after this beautiful Earth Day message from Sharon. So, you want to start? The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. The storm is raging, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The sun is shining, and so are we. The sun is shining, and so are we. The sun is shining, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The world is turning, and so are we. The world is turning, and so are we. The world is turning, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. The task is mighty, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. The tide is rising, and so are we. This is where we are called to be. This is where we are called to be.
Thank you so much. And now we have to shut down our candles, our Nobody can do it? Thank you so much. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of service. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Thank you for joining us today, everybody, the new folks as well as we old folks. And you're welcome to stay around and enjoy community. And I have to say, whoever brings it, has a wonderful lunch for you to sit down and enjoy. Now, our final circle. Please form a circle in the hall and join in singing number 155, Circle Round for Freedom.
Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle.
Sharon, you're going to give us a goodbye?
Sure. Let's see. May all beings pervading space and time be dedicated unto the complete liberation and supreme enlightenment of all beings everywhere. So mote it be.
Yay.